Good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you are tuning in from. My name is Gardner and I want to welcome you at the Julius Nyerere Leadership Centre. Today we had a very amazing discussion and I can assure you one of our keynote speaker is Israel Laryea. He's one of Ghana's finest journalists and he didn't just come to tell us about journalism, he came to bring agency to Uganda, Kampala, here in Makerere. And some of the things he talked about are things that had to jumpstart the way we think and the way we do things as youth, and also trying to look at the African agenda. What can youth do? What is their responsibility? What are some of the things that are masquerading behind trying to create excuses for, and how can they face them head on and create impact in Uganda, in East Africa, in Africa at large? And I would want Israel to first give us just Israel.
Yes.
When somebody, you've won accolades with BBC, CNN, you run one of the most lucrative influencer firm in Ghana. What are some of the things you think have pushed you as a person to become who you are?
Okay, so I guess from the get-go, I've always strived to achieve excellence, to do things to the best of my abilities. And once I get to achieve one, then I'm telling myself I need to do better. I have to be better than
what you were.
Yeah, what I was. And it's also informed by my background. I come from a rather humble background. And so I've always said that I was born with I won't say silver spoon, but when I was born, it wasn't so bad. Then somewhere along the line, if it was a silver spoon, we'll call it a silver spoon. It was taking out and I was giving a wooden ladle. Now I'm striving to ensure that my kids would have a silver spoon. So in everything that I do, that's what I'm aiming at. I want to do better. But most importantly, I also see myself as wanting to make a difference in people's lives. And so that runs across virtually everything that I do. So for me, I'm just trying to make a difference to the best of my abilities, and yes, it turns out great sometimes.
Now, this is what I learned from Israel's story. One, he competes against himself.
Yes.
Becoming better than who he is every single day. And that reminds me of Michelle Obama's book, Becoming.
Yeah.
She says, behind every success is a success, or behind every mountain is a mountain. And from your story that you gave us today in your keynote, you told us about you were the youngest moderator who moderated Ghana's presidential debate in 2008. You did not stop there. Today, you're running one of the biggest influencer firms in Ghana.
Yes.
And I think for that, it speaks to me and speaks to your mentality of becoming better each and every day and competing against yourself. The second thing you talked about that I want you to shed light on, we see there is advancement in technology when it comes to these years and next years coming. Behind the scenes, we talked about yesterday your vision of where Africa was going, where media was. What is the biggest challenge? Regardless of this advancement in technology, we see our youth only consuming technology other than using it to up their game. How would you advise that person there who has a smartphone, who has data, how can they use that to up their game and also create impact, as you shared with us today in your keynote?
So yes, we're talking about you having a device in your hand.
Yes.
That's so powerful. That gives you access to an equally very powerful platform. The way I want them to see it is, look at the mobile phone in your hand and social media and even AI as giving you like making you a news station or a media house or a TV station or a radio station. You're having all of that in one
place. Yeah.
In one place. It is for you. So the same person who has, we take one of the very influential people when it comes to social media, is iShowSpeed.
Yes.
Who came through the continent recently.
Yeah.
He has 50 million plus, subscribers
subscribers.
on YouTube. What he has, or what it took for him to get to where he is so different from what you have in your hand.
True.
What is it that makes him so different? Nothing. So if he can do that, you can do that too. And we were having conversations about how somebody asked the question, how can Africa also have its own voice? Having a media house, because they're looking at the CNNs and the BBCs and the rest, and they're like, Africa doesn't have a platform as huge as that. But there you are, an African with a device in your hand and the access to the platform. That can make you an iShowSpeed.
Yeah.
Now, iShowSpeed, with its 50 million plus subscribers, I dare say, is more influential or can be more influential than the CNNs.
The CNNs, true.
Thing is, CNN, BBC, and all those international media houses are losing audience. They're losing audience because not as many people are watching them.
Yeah.
But here's iShowSpeed, who's growing his audience. CNN and the rest will be influential because they have been able to win over a certain audience. That audience controls the narrative and they control power now. They are taking decisions. We're talking about heads of states and heads of governments and business leaders. So because CNN has that audience, it still has influence. But the young ones, iShowSpeed is also growing his audience, the 50 million that he has. At some point, these young people are going to be in positions of authority and power. And that is when he's going to be like a CNN, or even greater than a CNN. So as a young person, with what you have now, why don't you start cultivating your audience and growing them so that at some point, yes, you may have 50 million plus, but if you're aiming to have 1 million,
You need to start.
you need to start now.
Yeah. Wow, you've heard it. If you want to cultivate your audience, the question is, what do you have? And he has clearly articulated it. You have what it takes. You have a smartphone, you have data, you have everything. There is no excuse. Now is the time to marry what you think you want to do, use the available resources to get you where you want to go. Somebody once said that the things you're lamenting to have are the things that the people you admire did not have when they started. And this is what Israel has contributed to this nation. Israel.
And sometimes, let me add this,
Yeah.
sometimes too, you're not aware of how the influence or the power you wield until you're exposed. So you're sitting there thinking, yeah, I have my mobile phone. You're thinking as far as your horizon, but you should be able to go beyond your horizon and say that, because here we're having a conversation. Yes, the mobile phone that you have in your hand. Do you know that the mobile phone can help you to grow a YouTube account that can grow from 10 to 1,000 to 2,000 to 10,000 and 1 million? So if you're beginning to look at it that way, you're not going to see the mobile phone as a device which allows you to get entertained.
You're just consuming and,
Yes.
dopamine rises and you sleep happy.
Yes.
What impact? What impact? Wow. Israel, we are so honored to have you here in Makerere University at the Julius Nyerere Leadership Centre. And if you've just tuned in, if you're watching, if you're listening in, we shall post his keynote address because it was mind-blowing. But as we conclude, I want you to speak to Ugandans, East Africans, and Africans. What one thing would you urge them to start doing now after watching this episode?
For me, I'll tell you, see, I work in influencer marketing, and I work with content creators, and I know what they're bringing to the table. I know, and they're making quite a bit of money right now,
true.
working with brands and all of that. You should be seeing yourself as someone who can also begin to grow. I essentially moved from traditional media to influencer marketing because I saw that that is where the world is moving towards. So if I have seen it, I mean, and I've been a broadcaster, virtually all of my life, and I've been there, done that. If I been in there, like the frog who came out of the water, to say that,
the crocodile is.
I have come out, and I'm telling you that there's gold in this field. This is where the world is moving to. Grab a stake and start by grabbing that stake now, cultivating a certain audience, come up with your niche. And the internet and social media is such that you can, they're varied interests. If you look in media, there are radio stations that are playing just jazz.
Yes.
There's radio stations that are playing just classical music, and all sorts of genres. When it comes to the world, the variety is endless. If you look at the way or the kind of content people have put out that have made them famous, there's so many. Everybody comes up with something. Somebody could even decide that I'm interested in grass or the way grass grows. And they are going to find an audience around the world. So look for something that piques your interest. Look for something that excites you. Look for something that you're passionate about, and decide that you're going to work around that and grow a following around that. And you never know where you may end up.
The mind is the limit, as they say.
Yes.
I'll sum it up. Thank you so much, Israel, with Malcolm Gladwell's, I think it's his famous book, The Outlier. It talks about the 10,000 hour rule. Israel has told us, pick something you're passionate about. Start now. Invest in your energy, your resources, your brain, and your time. And use media to jumpstart you. Before you know it, you'll take it on and you will create the impact that you want to see. Israel, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you too.
Honoring our invitation.
Thank
and
you.
I'm very sure
Thank you.
we have learned, we have come, and we are going to.
And I'm also honored to have been invited, to JNLC, and thank you for the hospitality and the opportunity to also speak my mind and to share my thoughts.
Till next time, please, we'll keep inviting you, never to come.
Always happy.
Thank you so much.
Okay, all right.